Game developers are either super greedy and just want to milk as much money they can out of the players and add a billion microtransactions to a game like Ubisoft and EA, or game developers are really cool and they engage with the community, they don't overprice everything, they don't add a billion microtransactions, and they overall just want to make a nice game that people enjoy and I guess has a good legacy for their company, like FromSoft. FromSoft has always done this. They've always made really good games, and they've never gone crazy with it. Like, they've never added a bunch of microtransactions. You know, Elden Ring, one of the biggest games, like, really ever, honestly. $70 game, the DLC is $40 because the DLC is basically a whole new game. I mean, you look at the DLC for Elden Ring, and that's literally more content in the DLC than most games have in their main game. And they're still not doing microtransactions. It's just the base game price, the DLC price. And I think that's really commendable. But the reason I'm talking about game developers today is because Moist Critical uploaded a video titled Clearing Up Confusion, where he went on to describe his newest $10,000 bounty challenge. If you're unaware, Moist Critical does this thing from time to time where he selects a random game, gives people a period in which they can speedrun the game, and whoever gets the fastest run gets like $10,000. It's actually, I think it's a split of $10,000 between the top 10. So I think first place gets like 7,000 and the rest of the 3,000 or something like that is split amongst the other 9. Something like that. And so he has another challenge coming up for another Crab's Treasure, and it's part of Ludwig's speedrun event that goes on from May 31st to June 2nd. So I'm pretty sure basically how it works is whoever gets the fastest run in between that time gets their share of $10,000. I'll explain the 15 in a second. And you may be surprised to learn that overall, another Crab's Treasure speedrunning community wasn't too happy with this. Because in the video, Moist Criticals talked about how he thought the route was really cool, the restricted any percent route, how he thought it was a really cool route. But then in the video, he said, okay, we're going to use the unrestricted any percent route. And the unrestricted any percent route has this lame, fucking boring to watch glitch where you can basically just go on top of the whole map and just skip through the entire game. It's ridiculously easy to do because basically you have to make it. If y'all have no idea what Another Crab's Treasure is, I played it on the channel. I think it's a really good game. It's one of my favorite games of this entire year. And unfortunately, the Elden Ring DLC can't be Game of the Year. So far, Another Crab's Treasure is my Game of the Year. I thought that game was incredible, awesome. I thought the respawn mechanics on bosses were awesome as well. You know, they did a lot better of a job with the respawn mechanics on the job than Elden Ring did with the Stake of America. So I really liked the game. I thought it was really good. And basically how the glitch works, it's called uppies, and it's something where if there's like a rectangular shape and Krill's feet they can't go up the rectangle unless he's walking at 100% speed, then you can get uppies and you can basically bounce a bunch. So if you're at a rectangular object that's barely above Krill's, the height of his feet, if you're walking 50% into that structure and you don't go up, then the glitch will work. It's really weird. It only works if you can go up something at 100% speed. It's super weird. I don't know how people find stuff like this, but they found it. And that is a glitch that doesn't work in the restricted any percent run, but they allow it in the unrestricted, which is the category that Moist Critical allowed this speedrun to be in. And the same person actually has the world record in the restricted and unrestricted category, so the developers of Another Crab's Treasure basically messaged Moist Critical on Twitter, and they said, your speedrun contest is very cool, but the rule set allows a lame-ass strategy called uppies, which lets you fly over the map. Let's make things more interesting, change it to the restricted rule set, and we'll add 5k to the pot. And the speedrun community loved this. There were a few stupid people who actually quote tweeted Aggro Crab's message here, and they were like, what? Why are you calling something lame-ass in your own game? And I think that's actually super fucking cool that they called it lame, because it is super lame. I think what makes a speedrun really enjoyable to watch, and we've actually watched the speedrun world record on this channel in the past, before this contest was announced. What makes a speedrun really interesting is just cool tech. And jumping on top of the map requires literally no skill, and that's not a cool tech at all. So them calling it lame is actually fucking awesome. And Aggro Crab thinks that speedruns are cool. That's the message I got from this. They think speedruns speedruns are cool and they're going to add 5K to the pot, whoever beats the game the fastest. I think that's awesome. I think developers who really show that they care about their game and they care about the community that plays the game are just awesome developers in general. So seeing this tweet, I thought they were doing great. And so later they tweeted and they said, I've confirmed with Moist Critical's team that the rule change was approved. Good luck, runners. Also, apologies for calling the tech lame ass. We went a little too aggro there, but ultimately this change will let runners showcase a ton of other great glitches and strats. And this is just so cool. I don't know. I just think it's so cool for a development team of a game to say shit like this. Like, oh man, we're going to showcase a bunch of cool glitches with this speedrun. Like, I just think that's so fucking cool. Where I feel like some companies, if they saw these like well, it's not really game breaking, but you know, these like glitches to go through faster. Because basically in another Crab's Treasure, there's a glitch that lets you go outside of the map. If you go up to an invisible barrier and you take off your shell, the shell will go outside of the map, and then if you go back into the shell, your character will teleport to where your shell was. So you can basically just clip through the wall that way, and that's something that they're not even going to patch. They think it's cool as fuck, and pretty much nobody is going to use it other than the speedrunners anyway, because, I mean, nobody is going to figure that shit out on their own. And all the speedrunners who run this game just agree that the restricted rule set is a lot more fun. The run is way more challenging than in the unrestricted. I actually did try, before this bounty got announced, I actually did try speedrunning this game because I did myself think the speedrun for this game was so cool. It is so cool. If you've never seen the speedrun before, like I said, we watched it a couple days ago on this channel. You can check it out there. You can also, the route has changed since that video, so you can also check the new route, and it may be better than when this video is uploaded. So just look up on YouTube, you know, another Crab's Treasure world record speedrun. The route is super cool. It requires this super, like, perfect, nearly, this really perfect jump. Whenever you're charging your fork, you uncharge it, like, it's so hard to explain, but whenever you're charging your fork, you jump mid-charge, and it sends you flying, and there's so much cool tech. You know, the tech to use your shell to get out of bounds. They've changed the boss fights, too, so now you can use a grappling hook to throw a boss off the map. Like, there's so much fucking crazy tech. I saw a tech the other day where you can literally go off the map on the final fight of the game and just kill the final boss by just walking off the map. Like, there's so much interesting tech, and there are boss fights in the speedrun themselves. It's not just a complete skip. Like, the Elden Ring speedrun is so boring because Elden Ring is a super long game. For the average person playing Elden Ring for the first time, it takes them about 100 hours to beat the game. The speedrun is less than 5 minutes. Because the whole speedrun is just basically teleporting throughout the entire map. It's so boring to watch. So the Crab's Treasure speedrun is really cool in comparison because there's so much cool tech and so much shit going on, and you have to be good at boss fights. It's just really interesting to watch. But yeah, so yeah, now the bounty is $15,000 going from May 31st to June 2nd. Whoever gets the fastest run gets that part of the prize, gets their share of $15,000, and I just think it's really cool. I haven't seen a game developer put up prize money for a speedrun of their own game ever. I can't think of a single time where that has happened. I'm sure it has, but I can't think of a single time that has happened. So shout out to Aggro Crab. They made an awesome game, and yeah, I just wanted to talk about this for a bit because I thought it was really cool. Yeah, appreciate y'all.